You ready for the driving test? Yeah, I'm just reviewing. Remember, you have to park 15 feet from a fire hydrant. You mean 50 feet? No, 15. I literally just read the book. Well, you read wrong. It's 50 feet. Okay. Want to bet $5? Okay, you're on. I'm not giving you the money. And he kept his word. It's been a decade and I still have not gotten that $5. But the money's not important. What's important was that I won that bet because I always win my bets. You may be wondering, how do you always win your bets? I wasn't. Shut up. Well, I have 3 types of bets I make that always ends up with me winning. The first type is the guaranteed win bet, where you know the outcome before the bet's even made. However, these bets are the hardest to come by, so you have to always take the opportunity whenever you can. And sometimes, you can even make them. In my last semester of college, my friend Rain was struggling to get a job, and my other friend Richard and I were wondering if he would even get one before graduation. But on one miraculous day, Rain called me. Hey, what's up? I got a job! Oh my god, that's awesome! Congrats! Did you tell anyone else yet? Not yet. I'm gonna tell everyone else later this week when I see them. Oh, perfect. How so? So here's some more context. Richard does his eyebrows, and ever since I've learned of that fact, I've really wanted to do his eyebrows. Specifically, I want to shave his eyebrows into an Adidas logo. He's very against this for some reason. I thought maybe he doesn't like Adidas, so I say I can do a Nike swoosh instead. But he's still against this. I don't really understand why. Either way, I clearly want this more than he does. So I have to find a way to get him to let me shave his eyebrows. And, well, I found a way just then. I contact Richard and I start talking about Rain's job search. Actually, hold up. I think I can probably find the actual text and just save me some time animating this. And here we go. I bet you Rain has a job offer by this Friday. If you lose, you get Adidas eyebrows. No, I'm done with the bets for this semester. Next semester, I got you. Come on, this is Rain we're talking about. What's the odds of him getting a job? That's true. But, I don't want to risk it. If I lose, I'll cover 5 meals for you. Oh, shoot. Yes. It's a deal. Bets on. So, yeah. Unfortunately, Richard was a big Richard about the whole thing and didn't let me shave his eyebrows. He says the bet doesn't count because I rigged it. But I feel that judgment is unfair. I mean, did I already know the results of the bet before making it? Sure. And did I intentionally make it look like he had a chance of winning by acting like I wasn't sure if Rain got a job? Yeah, but that's called a bluff. If you're gonna gamble, learn to play poker. Besides, he had every opportunity to do his own due diligence and make sure his bet was safe. Nothing was stopping him from calling Rain before accepting the bet. That was a skill issue on his part. You don't invest in a company without knowing the business, right? So, to me, he still owes me his eyebrows. And to make matters worse, on the same week, Richard lost the bet to a girl where she got to draw on his face with mascara and he had to wear that the whole day. So, I've concluded he didn't let me shave his eyebrows because he is sexist and totally not because the bet was rigged or because shaved eyebrows is worse than bad makeup. No, he hates men. Uncool, Richard. Uncool. Anyway, the next type of bet I make is the guaranteed lose bet, which is the same as the guaranteed win bet, but you intentionally lose. Why would you want to lose a bet, I hear you ask? I didn't ask that. No one likes you. Anyway, sometimes a loss is actually a win in disguise. For example, I once made a bet with my sister where the loser had to slap Rain across the face. What was the bet? I don't know, it doesn't matter. I lost it on purpose because there was no way I was going to miss the chance to physically assault Rain. And before you judge me for being mean, Rain is my best friend, so I have an obligation to take every opportunity to harass him because that's what best friends do. Hey, guess what? What? I lost the bet. Okay. What was the bet? Ow! The loser has to slap you. Why was slapping me part of your bet? 'Cause I made it. So you made a bet and lost it on purpose to have an excuse to slap me? Yes, but that one was for fun. That was for the bet. Okay, that's it. Come here, you little... It may seem I never take chances, but that's not true. I do take chances, but when I do, I go for the last type of bet. The win-win bet. What's a win-win bet? Did I say you can ask questions? No, sit down. What's a win-win bet, you ask? It's a bet where you win something regardless of the outcome. And how do you make a win-win bet? Yes, good question. Well, you make a win-win bet through insurance. Have a really tough exam? Bet someone $100 that you will fail. Now you'll either pass that exam or be $100 richer. Assuming they pay out. Unfortunately, I run into a problem of people not paying me what they owe, which, in a way, makes them more like real insurance. So yeah, I always win my bets. But really, that's because I only make bets I win. When you break it down, I just don't like gambling. But sometimes you run into situations where you have to gamble. And when you do, remember, the house always wins. So, become the house. And like the house, remember to hire some goons to, help gently encourage those chumps to cough up when they lose. Anyway, I made some new friends that I think Richard would like to meet. Prepare the razors, boys. We got an old friend to see. Hey, so I made it a running joke that people don't pay me when they lose a bet, but there is one person who did pay. That's right, it was Rain. Backstory. I always wanted to cut his hair, but he wouldn't let me, so we made a bet that if I managed to get my mom and sister to let me cut their hair, he'll let me cut his. He believed that they will never let me touch their hair. Well, guess what? COVID hit and no one could get haircuts, so my mom and sister let me trim half an inch off their hair, and thus I won and I got to cut his hair. To be fair, his hair was starting to get overgrown, so he probably figured it was better than nothing. But anyway, my friend was balding and I have zero experience with cutting hair on a balding person, so I gave him a big comb over and it actually looked good. As long as his hair never moved and, well, hair moves. But it stayed still until he got home, where his entire family was. Long story short, I'm not allowed to touch his hair ever again. Well, whatever's left anyway. But hey, an eyebrow is way smaller than a head of hair. I'm sure I can handle an eyebrow. Come on, Richard, let me shave your eyebrows. Welcome to the post-video monologue. I'm using another drawing time-lapse. This one's of my Witch in Path of Exile 2, which is the reason why I haven't made a video in so long. Just kidding, I had a small illustration gig, surprisingly not furry related, but it's over now so I can make videos again. Also, in the last video I mentioned making a time-lapse video on the furry drawings. I started working on it, but after reviewing the footage, I realized there was no way I could make it watchable, so I decided to scrap that. Sorry to those who were anticipating it. Lastly, did you know you guys affect my YouTube recommendations? I don't watch videos on this channel, but my recommendations seem to change whenever new people watch my videos. So I went from city building let's plays to language learning tips to furry animations. I mean, it's either that or YouTube's algorithm also watches my videos, which makes me unsettled. But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny.